Now, we got some tweets to go over, but first I want to talk about a news item that occurred this past week. A lot of people have left WWE and gone to AEW. There's probably some more coming up, but Kevin Owens decided to stay in WWE. He got a deal. Now, he can be fired. It's the same old 90-day thing with everybody else in WWE, but he's getting $2 or $3 million a year. I think he made the right move. I think AEW has 15 pounds of sugar for a 10-pound bag. I think.
I absolutely do too. I think the world of Kevin Owens. A more respectful, nice guy I've never met, and he's got unlimited talent. He's got a hell of an interview, and he just. I'm in, first of all, the word respect, and I mean, I told you the story before he ever used the stunner he called Steven Askin, and that's respect. When I was doing a segment with him on a Thanksgiving Starrcade show, it was the Kevin Owens KO show, and he said, "What do you want to talk about?" And I said, "Hey, you're the boss." He said, "Wait, you're Ric Flair." And I said, "Well, that doesn't mean anything right now. We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about." He's a very respectful kid with a ton of talent, and he takes these huge bumps and all that. I'm happy for him, and I wish him nothing but success. He's a great guy.
Well, I think at 37 years old and with 10 years behind him in WWE, and like I said, I think anybody going into AEW at this point is going to wonder if they're going to get on TV. And that's no knock on Tony. It's more of a factual statement about how little TV time they have, because all that YouTube stuff doesn't count. Those are squash matches for people to watch who have nothing better to do. But
yeah, no, Kevin wants to be at work. I mean, there's some guys getting paid that don't care if they're at work or not. Kevin wants to be at work. He wants to be on top, and he wants to be thought of in that light. And he's very close to it. If he's not, give me another year of watching him. But he can be anything he wants to be. But most of all, he's a very respectful young man.
Do you think wrestlers still see WWE as the big show? Do you think wrestlers still feel you have to be there to have truly made it?
Well, it is still the big show. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, ratings dictate.
Well, no, here's the difference. It's like I was an NWA champion, right? And you couldn't have told me differently, but really the big show was WWE. So anything I'm saying, the kids at AEW can't turn around on me because I'm using myself as an example. You could have never told me as NWA champion the big show was WWE. But what was the big show?
Oh, WWE.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I never wanted to go there because I was a champion. And I had that prestigious position of being, like with a Harley Racer and Terry and Dory Funk and Jack Briscoe and Gene Kiniski and Buddy Ryan, and the list goes on. And I didn't look at it. But if I had not been a champion, I may have gone there too. So, I enjoyed I was really, very loyal to Crockett. I certainly could have gone a couple times, as we've talked about, but I was loyal to Crockett. I was a world champion. What more can you ask for? And I think the biggest mistake in the history of the business, since you brought it up, is I don't know what happened in negotiations, but why in the hell would you ever change the NWA to WCW? What in the hell? I know there's some politics behind that statement. I'm not sure what all they were, but I'm dead sure with all of Ted Turner's money, he could have made it right, and they still could be at NWA. There is now, but they're put in that third bracket now, and they have some really good performers at NWA. By the way, I was at the 73rd thing a couple months ago. It was great.
Oh, Nick Aldis is tremendous.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of his. No, let me just close off this part of the conversation with a quote from a guy we worked with. I'm not going to name him, but when WCW was in the middle of its 83 weeks, quit flexing, please. You're detracting from my intellect. When WCW was in the middle of its 83 weeks of beating WWE, somebody who had come over and was a big part of that said to me, "This doesn't matter. WWE is still the real show. That's the perception, and it always will be."
Yeah, it is. It is. It's going to be forever. I wish they hadn't ixnayed me.
Well, let's talk.
I used to be on the opening, but now that I've been erased.
I think you will be again, Nate.